second question. So what second question says? After its emergence, explain how sociology flourished to begin with on social reformist orientation in USA, America. Also discuss how American sociology is distinct from European sociology. Clear now? That is a good question. So we know that sociology first emerged where? In Western Europe. Now it is said that sociology has its roots in Europe and shoots in America. So when you look into the roots of European sociology, we find that its root lies in what? Renaissance, Enlightenment, such kind of things, that Industrial Revolution, French Revolution. Okay. Now, see, according to some commentators, what they said, that sociology has undergone a change, a drastic change, especially after World War II. And this change has occurred in USA. And this change can be described as a shift from prophetic to priestly sociology. Prophetic to priestly sociology. Now question arises, what does it mean? What is this prophetic sociology? What is priestly sociology? Now see, both, when we talk about either prophet or priest, so both prophet and priest, they are what? They are religious specialists. They are associated with some religion, but there is fundamental difference, you can say, in their very approach. Now see, if we talk about prophet, the prophet is what? The prophet is a visionary, a great visionary, who raises moral question about society, while priest is only a ceremonialist. What is ceremonialist? Ceremonialist means somebody who presides over some ceremony, that how various ritual has to be performed. Clear now? So that is ceremonialist. Now in our context, in this question's context, priest is concerned with nitty-gritty of details, but prophet is concerned with the big question of life. Big question. Say about the purpose of life, about human destiny, about human future, and throws light on fundamental questions of life. So when we talk in context of this question, so it is said sorry, so it is said that 19th century sociology, which developed with the writings of, say, greats like Karl Marx, Emil Durkheim, Max Weber, by this German French sociologist, and also the work of Pitrim Sorokin. And it is said that even the work of R.K. Merton's first contribution, that is Paradigm of Anomy, they fall in category of prophetic sociology. Prophetic sociology. But it is said that later on, R.K. Merton's approach, his approach changed, and so did American sociology. That from prophetic sociology to, it shifted to what? It changed to priestly sociology. American sociology changed from prophetic sociology to priestly sociology. That means what? That means it became concerned with the nitty-gritty of various details day-to-day details, that how to carry out research, for example, that how to build theory, what kind of theory one must build. They also started exploring the relationship between theory and research and vice versa. They also started to do that, what methodology to be followed, and so on, various such kind of things. So these are nothing but examples of what? Priestly sociology. Priestly sociology. So now it became concerned with what? Concerned with the detail, concerned about the details, various details of sociology, where sociology had to handle practical problems of day-to-day life. Clear? So this was fundamental difference. This change started happening first time in USA. Also, earlier, that sociologists, they were often drawn from upper class, and sociologists, or say their sociological work were confined to limited elite group. But it was said that after World War II, mass sociology that had emerged. It was said that it has become extremely popular subject in industrial society, particularly America, and lot of people, they took up sociology as a course in their, say, this education, higher education. So now in USA, sociology has come to be seen as a means to solving day-to-day problems, practical problems of industrial society, rather than concerning itself with, you can say, fundamental question about social life. Okay na? And restructuring of the society, or say creating an alternate society. No, they were now no more interested in that. Okay na? The thinking, you can say, that like of Karl Marx, what he presented, Karl Marx, he designed, you can say, he devised, he thought of an alternate society to capitalism, that there must be created an utopian communist society, you can say. He thought of utopian communist society, okay na, where there won't be any concept of this private property, and where everything would be hunky-dory, perfect, okay na. But now things started changing, actually changed. Now American sociology was not bothered about such big questions. Sociology is now only concerned with what? As I said, day-to-day problems, solving various day-to-day related problems. Okay na? It was concerned with practical problem of all around development of society. So that is how there was a shift in sociology from prophetic to priestly sociology. And that change began where? In America, and later on spread to other countries also. Okay, now one more thing. Now sociology in America, USA, unlike its predominantly theoretical origin in Europe, okay na, so sociology in USA, it flourished with a strong social reformist orientation. Now why it was so? This different path was actually shaped by a combination of factors, you can say. Okay na? So here write down, for example, one, there was the social problem of a rapidly changing America. That the late this 19th century and early 20th century, America witnessed what? Social upheaval. That there were rapid industrialization, and it led to mass migration in America from rural areas to, say, from even other countries. People started migrating to America, and American rural people started migrating to urban center, emerging cities. Now this resulted in overcrowded slums, poverty, filth, unsanitary living conditions. There was child labor, problem of child labor. Okay, now there was workers exploitation, there was problem of prostitution, rampant crime. So you can say that this is visible, okay, na? And these pressing social problems, what they demanded? They actually demanded immediate attention of policy makers, okay, na? And say, see, when there is mass immigration, so the influx of diverse people, immigrant population, that presented various challenges also, like challenges of what? Assimilation, cultural, there was various types of cultural class, okay, na? Problem of social integration. So such kind of various problem American society was facing. Now if you look into USA, what we are finding when we compare with European society, that in USA there was absence of feudalism. European society was characterized by traditional feudalism, and therefore unlike Europe, America, it lacked rigid class hierarchies rooted in feudalism. Though there was racial differentiation, segregation, but there was no rigid class hierarchies the way it was there in feudalism in Europe. So there was a more optimistic belief that societal problems could be solved through what? Empirical research and policy interventions rather than revolutionary change. That revolutionary change was required in Western Europe because of feudalism. Here there is no feudalism, so there is no scope for or no requirement of any revolutionary change. Okay, now only policy intervention can bring about drastic change in, or it can solve the existing problem of American society. Clear now? So this second point, write down, there was the rise of the progressive era. Rise of the progressive era. Okay, now write down here, there was a widespread reform movement during late 19th and early 20th century, and it was aimed at addressing corruption, labor issues like labor abuses, public health issues, and various social ills. Full stop, write down. So in this scenario, sociology found a natural alignment with the progressive era's goal of progressive era's goal of social betterment. Okay, now so these were various things. Clear? Now if you look into the development of sociology in USA, so there was various important scholars. So in this question you are also expected to mention scholars. So there were various important scholars like Lester Ward, L-E-S-T-E-R, Lester Ward. Now Lester Ward is considered the father of American sociology, and he was the first president of the American Sociological Association, and he has written a famous book, Dynamic Sociology, in 1883. So Lester Ward. Then there was also that Chicago School of Sociology. Okay, na? That in 1893, University of Chicago established a department of sociology, the world's first. So this highly influential early school, you can say Chicago School, that was established at the University of Chicago, and that it was said that it became a laboratory for studying urban life and its various problems. And various prominent sociologists associated with this Chicago School were like Albion Small, okay, na, who was also the first chairman of sociology department at Chicago. There were others like Franklin Giddens, William Sumner, okay, na. Then there were Robert Park, Ernest Verghese, okay, na, who pioneered urban ecology. They worked related to this urban ecology, okay, na, that they mapping these urban zones. They also studied this immigrant assimilation in American society, okay, na. And this Robert Park, his famous study was the study of this marginal man. He has talked about marginal man. Then there was Du Bois, okay, he was a sociologist and civil rights activist also, and he emphasized on this empirical research, and his famous study was the Philadelphia Negroes, okay, na? That was the first study of black community and their problems. So he focused on the challenges, okay, na, racial stereotyping, and he advocated for equality, racial equality, okay, na. He espoused for social justice in America, okay. And of course then later there also developed other sociology center in America, Harvard and Columbia University sociology department were opened. Clear? So it is said that in the US, early sociology was closely linked to the nascent field of social work actually. Okay, write down here. Write down, in America the focus was on diagnosing and treating social pathologies, underline that, social pathologies, comma, problems, and then actively working to improve conditions, full stop. This was in contrast with a more detached, comma, theoretical approach seen in European sociological traditions, full stop. Change paragraph. In essence, you can say that American sociology did not just seek to understand society, comma, it actively sought to change it for the better, full stop. The pressing social problems of a rapidly industrializing, comma, urbanizing and diversifying country, comma, coupled with an intellectual climate of spirit of the progressive era, comma, it actually provided fertile ground for sociology to flourish as a discipline which was very much committed to social reform. Full stop. Okay. So exactly how did American sociology differ from European sociology? Now see, if you talk in terms of focus, European sociology was primarily concerned with diagnosing and say explaining large scale societal transformation, social change. Okay, na? Often in response to say that Renaissance, Enlightenment, the Industrial Revolution, French Revolution. Okay, na? So it is said that European sociology was more a theoretical kind sociology. More emphasis was on theory. While American sociology its focus was influenced by the practical challenges, practical problems of rapid industrialization, urbanization, mass migration in late 19th and early 20th century. Okay, now so their focus differed. Now if you see in terms of their goals, so goal of European sociology was to develop, it was said its focus, European sociology's focus was to develop grand theories, big theories, macro level theories that explain fundamental societal structures, prevalent power dynamics in society, you can say, social change also. They also looked into the nature of modernity. So if you mention these thinkers like Karl Marx, Max Weber, Emil Durkheim, so they aim to understand the why and how of societal evolution. Okay, na? And they also looked into the inherent contradiction which were prevalent, inherent contradiction within the social system. While goal of American sociology was to address what? Concrete societal problems. Okay, na? As I said, that poverty, crime, immigration problem, assimilation issues, okay, na? So various things, inequality. So they looked into these things through empirical research and the application of sociological knowledge to social reform, okay, na? And policy interventions they actually sought. It aimed to understand how to improve American society or society in general, you can say. And if you talk in terms of methodological preference, okay, na? So in European society, this European society or say European sociology, in European sociology, though it is said, yes, that was very much true that empirical work existed, as we know that Emil Durkheim's his famous study of suicide. So while empirical work existed, that was there was a strong emphasis on what? Theoretical framework in Europe, that conceptual analysis and that comparative method, historical comparison that went, historical comparative method to understand, you can say this how this societal trend, in which direction society is moving or what kind of changes have occurred through history. While American sociology favored empirical research, survey, statistical analysis and direct observation, and especially it is said in context of Chicago school, their urban ethnography. So the focus was on collection of data collection to understand a special social phenomenon. What kind of special things are occurring here, specific things, you can say, not special, so specific social phenomenon, social problems, okay, and their immediate implications. So these were major differences. Clear, na? Right on. In conclusion, you can say that European sociology laid the theoretical foundations and developed grand explanation for societal change, while American sociology, emerging in a different context, took these theoretical insights and applied them pragmatically to understand and resolve the pressing social issues of its time, fostering a strong tradition of empirical research and social reform. Full stop, right down. While these distinctions have blurred over time with increasing globalization and cross-cultural intellectual exchange, they represent the foundational differences. In how the discipline took root and flourished on both continents. Both continents means Europe and America. Okay, so this was by and large the answer. Your answer should hover on these lines. Okay now, so I am stopping here and I will see you in next discussion session. Okay now, so thank you very much.